अभी आ रही
Yes,
है?
sir. Yes, sir. Green technology slide is visible.
Okay. Thank you, Alok ji, and thank you to all participants who attend the evening session. So you all participants are very good afternoon to all participants and welcome you in the evening session with Dr. Veerpal Singh with topic green technology as a welfare tool for sustainable agriculture. You know well, India is the agriculture country and our country economy based on the agriculture. So it's a very important and very centralizedly focused area. Always we need to use the green technique so that we can increase the farmers income, so that we can make environment friendly techniques, we can, so that we can minimize the pollutions, either it is air, water, and and minimize the contamination of the food material. So the technique is very important, where its use is also very important in the agriculture field. आलोक जी, फोटो थोड़ी आ रहा होगा भाई, इसमें सिर्फ स्लाइड शेयर हो रही होगी ना?
Yes, sir. Slide share हो रही है.
ओके.
Okay.
So as far as green technology is concerned, we need to know about the green technology. As you all participants know that our topic of the FDP is also the green technology and its contribution, the different or vast area of the important field. So the agriculture is also very vast area, a very important area, centralizedly focused area in a country like agriculture based economy, that is our country, India. So the green technology, as you know, from the beginning of the session up to today or up to the 26th November of our faculty closing day, every person and every expert discuss the importance and definition of the green technology. So simply, I also like to explain the technique green technology. The green technology is an environmental healing technology, environmental friendly technology, clean technology, that is sometimes also called green tech, clean tech. So because it is environmental healing technology, so that it reduces environmental damages which contribute to both poverty reduction and increasing of the income of the farmers, which are associated with the important profession, that is agriculture and sustainable agriculture development. How the natural question is how the green technology is very important in the sustainable agriculture development, and how it is important in the increasing the income of the farmers in the agriculture based economy country like India. So naturally, if the income of the farmer will increase, the poverty of the farmer will also decrease. The study heavily focuses on the environmental concern and increasing demand for the green production of raising income and achieving sustainable agriculture development. So this is what about the definition of green technology and how the green technology beneficial for the field like agriculture. Area covered by the green technology, the areas which are very closely integrated or closely connected with the agriculture, just like farming, animal husbandry, fishery, water resources management, agriculture waste management, pesticide control or pest management, pesticide management, fertilizer management. So these are the different areas which are very close to the agriculture field. So the technique that is called green technique, how it is uh, integrated or connected with the very closely area to agriculture. So we will just see about these areas and the importance of green technology in these areas. So the area identifying appropriate technology suitable for the income generation through sustainable agriculture, examining the impact and implications of national policies on green technology, diagnosing policy level impact of green technology on the rural income generation under the Sustainable Agriculture Development Framework, reviewing the challenges and available policy options for the adoption of the green technology, increasing rural income by agriculture waste management. Sometimes it is seen that in the rural areas, when we enter in any village, before the entering point of the village, we naturally observe that there is a hump of the agriculture waste outside the every village. So how these waste of the agriculture make the decrease the beauty of the village. So if we use the green technology for the management of agriculture waste, we double benefited. First benefit is we just maintain the beauty of the village, and second is we decrease the pollution, and third one is we get the benefit by the compositing these waste or to make the manures by the using the agriculture waste. So here we need to aware about the techniques that is called green techniques uh, and its uses in the agriculture waste management. Increasing rural income by fertilizers and pesticides management, water resources management. By using the green techniques, we can manage or maximize the increase the maximum utilization of water with minimum wastage of water. Green technology and its connection, its integrity with the other field. Technologies for environmental friendly agriculture, agriculture technology and poverty reduction, green technology and rural environmental concern, income generation, especially of farmers. So these are the very close connections of green technology which enhance the use of the green technology in the different and closely connected areas of agriculture field. Green technology and its connection, green technology for environment friendly agriculture. How the green technology enhance the environmental friendly agriculture, as good agriculture land is already farmed. The natural resources availability of the further farming expansion is exhaust. Worldwide urbanization, higher cost of energy, population growth, and the damaged environment and have necessitated the development of the technology-driven energy and the cost efficiency mechanism. Need is to the green technology is the need to achieve the sustainable agriculture and the obtain higher yield and increase the incompatible and effectively environment friendly growth of increasing the production of the agriculture field. Agriculture technology and poverty reduction. Major cross countries analyze shows on average every 1% increase in agriculture yield reduce number of people living on less than $1 per day by 0.83%. It is challenge to sustain and expand agriculture sector unique poverty reduction, reducing power in terms of increased production and decreased average cost. Sustainable agriculture integrates their main goals: environmental health, economic profitability, and the social and economic equity. among the available technologies such as organic agriculture, biotechnology, and the challenge is to decide suitable, affordable, and competitive technology. So these are the uses of agriculture technology, green technology in the agriculture field to reduce poverty of the farmer. Green technology and rural environmental concern. Against massive environmental degradation, the challenge is to ensure people's right to food security by guaranteeing that present and future generations have equal access to the capital, human and natural resources. Adequate allocation of the resources is necessary to channel science and technology into rural area for encouraging farmers to replace the use of chemical pesticide and fertilizers through the organic farming. By enhancing or informing the farmers about the importance of the green technology in the farming areas, agriculture areas, manure areas, the income of the farmers can increases as ecologically sound farm management practices rely on low level of inputs indigenously knowledge and appropriate technologies skills on agroecology for sustainable yield should be imparted. Green technology and their interlinkage with the other field of agriculture. Income generation, especially of farmers. Improvement in agriculture technology can have significant impact on long-term growth. Worldwide, agriculture has met food need of a six-fold increase in the world population over past 200 years. The green technology is the technology that support yield increase per hectare, release labor for employment in non-farm sector, and help in increasing farmers' income. With such consideration, independent inputs, processes, and the services, projects, etc., can present technological interventions. ICRI set shows that the addition of boron and sulfur in soil has resulted in 28 to 70% increase in the yield in the Indian state. Mobile lady who provide door-to-door services for the testing of water pH to find out status of the shrimp pond also help crop cultivators in the soil pH testing. Waterside development as a model for integrated genetic and natural resources management has improved the productivity of the crop in areas. Methodology based on both primary and secondary sources of information. Feasibility study attempt to identify the gaps, if there are any, in the application of the green technology and attempt to justify their feasibility based on the result from experiment and experiences with concerned technology. Recommendations are largely based on qualitative methods and on an operational definitions of sustainability using priority indicators. The review of the selected regulatory measures in the selected countries is made to find out their strengths and weaknesses to facilitate green technology initiatives. Selection of green technology, or that is called especially used techniques which maximize the production and minimize the expenditure, First of all, technology has been selected on the basis of criteria suggested: system independence, image of modernity, individual versus collective technology, cost of technology, risk factor, evolutionary capacity of technology, single purpose versus multiple purpose technologies. Situation analysis of selected technology have been carried out on the basis of current performance, policies, cost benefit analysis, performance indicators. So these are the analysis before to select the technology. Status of green technology in India compared to its usage in the other developed and developing country. Demand for high value crop is increasing, but high transactions cost and conditionality have undermined gains from trade. Absence of appropriate technology has reduced scope of gain from trade. Misuse of modern farming input has created environmental problem. So the challenge is to achieve agriculture growth through green technology. Attempt is being made to promote green technology in our country. Malaysia has recognized and is promoting renewable energy as a fifth fuel. Nepal has biotechnology policy which focus on food security and poverty alleviation. India has invested large amount of the money for the research and development of or in the field of green technology. Status of green technology in the APCAEM members countries like Malaysia, Nepal, India. So feasible green technologies which are being used in these countries which are member of APCAEM. The important techniques using as green technology are solar photovoltaic, solar energy. That energy provide clean, decentralized electricity production option. The new generation of solar energy can be one of the most affordable and efficient energy sources in the future. Daily solar incidences which are being compared in India, Malaysia, and Nepal. In India, 4 to 7 kilowatt hours per square meter. In Malaysia, high. It is the Malaysia is attention very high in the consumption of green technology or incorporating the green technology in each and every field. So it is high by world standards. Malaysia is at high ranking by the world standard, and the Nepal has become reliable sources of energy in rural areas. Energy consumptions, level of energy used in the agriculture from different sources are: animal power contribution 16% in 2001 to 2002. It was 60%, but 16% only. But it is 60%. But it was 60% in the 1971 and 72. So contribution of any power is decreased now. It indication the maximum utilization of green sources, green energy. Mechanical and electrical together contributed 83.62% in 2001-2002, but it was 39.63% in 1971-1972. So the excessive use of mechanical and electrical energy together contribute the advancement or indicating the excessive use of green technology as compared to the last. Solar energy, government has come out with a solar energy policies to 2012 proposed to encourage and popularize use of solar energy in agriculture sector, providing a package of solar PV pumping system linked with suitable micro irrigation system, forward linkage of precision farming front end technologies, crop specific improved cultivation methods such as to progressive farmers of the state on a pilot basis. Government initiative for the solar pump sets, 530 solar pumps, 530 solar power agriculture pump set to be installed during 2013-2014. Further, 2000 number of 5 HP solar PV pumping system will be procured during the 2013-2014. Out of total cost, how the government contribute to set up the or enhancing the or increasing to set up the pump electric or PV pump set for government provide the fund or provide the help for the farmers. 50% will be met from the National Agriculture Development Program and 30% from the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy Sources. So the total cost 80% is granted by the government and remaining 20%, balance remaining 20% is shall be farmers contribution to be met partially through loan, and remaining 20% जो contribution है that is available, that is contributed by taking loans from the financial institutions to the farmers. Each pump will be so net contribution of farmer is zero. So free of cost farmer can settle down the pump set, and only 20% cost of the pump set will you have to pay in installment form to the banking system. Each pump set will have solar panel of the 4800 VP capacity and will deliver water to that of the 5 HPAC pump sets. Solar pump set expected to benefit. सोलर पंप सेट के सेटलमेंट से क्या क्या बेनिफिट होते हैं? These are the following benefit. Continuous pumping throughout the day for a maximum period in a year. Agriculture crops and the horticultural crop will be irrigated using the solar PV pumping systems with micro irrigation system along with the high-tech cultivation practices such as sustainable sugarcane initiatives and system of pulses, intensification, transplanted red gram cultivation, poly greenhouses, etc. These are the field where pump set can be used for the irrigation. Energy saving that can be obtained in a year by the proposed system by using 2530 number of 5 HP solar pumps is about 152 lakh units kilowatt hours at a 0.06 lakh units per pump set. Solar copra DRI dryer, solar copra dryer, distribution of the 30 number of at a cost of 15 lakhs. So this is the diagram which showing you the solar pump set using for the micro irrigation system. The next green technology used in the power sector is wind energy. India estimate total wind generation capacity of 45,000 megawatt. In Nepal, river corridors have been observed to have high wind potential, while in Malaysia, the availability of the wind resources vary with location. The next one field of green energy is biofuel. Both Malaysia and India have already started to produce biofuel feedstocks. Nepal has announced through budget speech of 2008-2009 to produce such feedstock. The next green energy field, green energy area is biogas. India biogas potential is estimated to be 12 million biogas plants. Nepal carry the potential of 1.9 million biogas plants. While in Malaysia, palm oil mill efficient can generate at 177 megawatt. So these are the different potential of these three countries comparison about the biogas area, biogas production. The next green power sector is micro and small hydropowers. Hydropower plant ranging from maximum capacity of 500 kilowatt in Nepal to 25 megawatt in India. Small hydropower potential approximating 15,000 megawatt exists in India. Hydropower potential of Nepal is believed to be 42,000 megawatt, while in Malaysia, hydropower potential of 25,000 megawatt was identified till the end of the 2001. The next area of green energy sector is biomass. India estimates biomass availability of 600 million tons from agriculture and forest residues. Because India is a agriculture based economic country, so there is a wastage of biomass or wastage of agriculture and forest and vegetables, slaughterhouses. So there are a lot of waste are produced in India. So country like in India, biomass is a very important field which produce a lot of amount of the energy by using these waste in the generation of energy. The Malaysia biomass waste energy generation capacity was reported 488 megawatt in 2000. Improved cooking stove in Nepal is very successful and it uses biomass. Solar thermal improved water mills, geothermal energy. So these are also the important field where green technology is used for the power generation. The 10th plan in India pleased to install 10,05,000 हेलो राठौर साहब, मैं अभी कहीं मीटिंग में हूँ, मैं बाद में कॉल करता हूँ 1 घंटे बाद. The 10th plan in India plans to install 10,05,000 square meter solar water heating system and 1,62,000 solar cookers, of which 99 9,95,000 square meter and 70,978 were installed respectively. Improved water mills in Nepal have made milling efficient. Up to 3 kilowatt can be generated and reliable, while 25,000 traditional mills are still in operational mode in Nepal. 79 geothermal manifestation area have been identified in Malaysia. The next new area of green power generation is biotransgenics. The most transgenics technologies are in research and the development, and comprehensive result have not been ascertained. India is producing BT cotton. Malaysia has empaneled biotechnology as one of the drivers of new agriculture in the 10th Malaysian Plan. Organic farming. The country like India, whose economy use the organic farming and increase the income of the farmers and decrease the environment related problems. The National Planning Commission of India in 2000 recognized organic farming as a thrust area. Preliminary draft of organic certification policies and procedures have been developed. So this is a very important and attracting field. Organic manures. The organic farming include the several products. One of them is organic manure. The organic manures are the natural products used by farmers to enhance sustainable crop production. There are a number of organic manures like farmyard manures, green manures, compost prepared from crop residues and other farm waste, vermicompost, oil cakes, and biological waste like animal bones, slaughterhouse refuses. Organic manures are natural products used by farmers to provide food for the crop plants. There are a number of organic manures like farmyard manures, green manures, compost prepared from the crop residue and other farm waste. Benefits of organic manures. Organic manure increase the organic matters in the soil. Organic matter in turn releases the plant food in available form for the use of crop. Organic manures should not be seen only as carriers of the plant food. These manures also enable a soil to hold more water and also help to improve the drainage in clay soil. They provide organic acids that help to dissolve soil nutrients and make them available for the plants. Sources of organic manures: byproduct of farming and allied industries. The organic manure is manufactured by the byproduct of farming and allied industries. FIM, droppings, drop waste, residue, sewage, sludge and industrial waste. So manures is produced by using the waste of the agriculture and agriculture aligned industries like fishery, animal husbandry, piggery, slaughterhouses, dairy. So these are the agriculture aligned industries. So what are the organic manures? The organic manures are manufactured by the by the using of byproduct of agriculture and agriculture aligned industries. So this is the manure, organic manure produced by agriculture, produced by using the byproduct of agriculture and agriculture aligned industries. Type of organic manures: the farmyard manures FYM, green manures, crop residue, compost, home compost, concentrated organic manures. So these are the different type of organic manures. Farmyard manures. Farmyard manure is prepared basically using cow dung, cow urine, waste straw and other dairy waste. सामान्यतः हम कहें तो FYM farm yard manure, it is nothing but the waste of, it is a mixture of waste of cow dung, cow urine and उसके खाने से बचा हुआ कचरा और डेयरी इंडस्ट्री का जो वेस्ट है वो सब मिला करके दैट इज कॉल्ड एंड इट विल मेक फार्म यार्ड मैन्यूर्स. इट इज वेरी enriched of nutrient which are very essential for the agriculture. FYM is rich in nutrient. When cow dung and the urine are mixed, a balanced nutrition is made available to the plant. Availability of potassium and the phosphorus from FYM is similar to that from the inorganic sources. Application of FYM improves soil fertility. So it is very important use as a fulfilling the all requirement of the soil fertility. Nutrition, एक चार्ट के द्वारा we try to explain the nutrition available in the FYM. So this is the FYM farmyard manures. It includes the different type of nutrition which are required and very important for the important to maintain the fertility of soil. For example, nitrogen, which is present in the FYM, 0.5000%. Phosphorus, which is very important nutrient for the soil fertility, that is present in the FYM is 0.2500%. Potassium is present in FYM 0.400%. Calcium present in FYM is 0.0800%. Sulfur, which is present in FYM, is 0.0200%. Zinc, which is present in FYM, is 0.0040%. Copper, which is present in FYM, is 0.0003%. Manganese present in FYM is 0.0070%. Iron, which is present in FYM, is 0.4500%. So these are the different nutrition present in the FYM. And these are the very important for maintaining the fertility of the soil. Green manures, this is the second type of manure. Many countries have changed from a region of food scarcity to food sufficiency by increased fertilizer use with subsidized price, but use of organic manures including green manure declined sustainability. Inorganic fertilizers are becoming more expensive. Therefore, sustainability of the soil productivity has become a question. Hence, alternate source to supplement inorganic fertilizer. Green manures are low cost and effective technology in the maximizing cost of fertilizers and safeguarding productivity. Green manure crop. There are few crops which are considered as a green manure crops. Dhanicha and Dhanicha, which is botanical name is Sasvinia aculeata. While the second green manure crop is Manila Ghati, and its botanical name is Sasvania rostrata. So these are the two photos which indicating that these two green manure crops. The third type of green manure is crop residue. The crop residue are the non-economic plant part that are left in the field after the harvest. The harvest refuses include straw, stubble and stover of the different crop. Crop remains are also from harassing seeds or that are discarded during crop processing. The greatest potential as a biomass resource appear to be from the field residue of sorghum, maize, soybean, cotton, sugarcane, etc. These residues will contribute 1 lakh ton of nitrogen, 5 lakh ton of phosphorus, 2 lakh ton of potassium. However, crop residue need compositing before being used as a manure. Compost. This is the fourth type of manure. Compost is a rich source of organic matter. Soil organic matter play an important role in sustaining soil fertility and hence in sustainable agriculture production. In addition to being a source of plant nutrition, it improves the physicochemical and biochemical property of the soil. Importance of the compositing. Final weight of the compost is very less. Compositing temperature kill pathogens, weed, seed and seeds. Soluble product improve manure handling, reduce the risk of pollution, volume reduction of waste during compositing. Number of waste from several sources are blended together. Compositing temperature kill pathogens, weed, seeds and manure compost come into equilibrium with the soil. Excellent soil conditioner. Organic manure, vermicompost. Vermicompost is an organic manure, biofertilizer produced as the vermicompost by earthworm feeding on the biological waste material, plant residue. हेलो जी बोलिए प्लीज।
अपना एक प्लॉट था व्यापार नगर में से सोल्ड हो गया या है?
नहीं अभी है और मैं 1 घंटे बाद कॉल करूंगा प्लीज सर आपको।
अच्छा ठीक
प्लीज। Sorry for intervening. Vermicompost is an organic manure biofertilizer produced as the vermicast by earthworm feeding on biological waste material, plant residue, etc. This compost is an odorless, clean organic material containing adequate quantities of NPK and several micronutrients essential for the plant growth. So this is the photograph which indicating the quality of compost, vermicompost fertilizer or vermicompost manure. This is very rich, nutrient rich manure for increasing or maintaining the soil fertility. Vermicompost shed. Vermicompost is a preferred nutrient source for the organic farming. It is eco-friendly, non-toxic, consumes low energy input for composting, and it is recycled biological product. The vermicompost shed, which is shown in this photograph, the process allow for the safe conversion of waste into a valuable nutrient rich humus fertilizer, vermicompost, etc. The next one is next one example of organic manure is home compost. It is in our practice that in each and every home produce vegetable waste, fruit waste, and other organic waste. So these waste are used to make home compost, which is very enriched or containing the important nutrient which are very essential to maintain the soil fertility. Organic home waste plus dry leaves becomes compost in 90 days. So these are the different type of home waste. So after 90 days, they become they convert it into the home compost, which is shown in the figure. The next one organic manure is concentrated organic manures. Edible oil cakes which can be safely fed to livestock, for example, groundnut cake, coconut cake, and mustard seed cake. These are the usually used for the feed to the livestock, and these are the very nutrient rich cake which maintain the nutrition level of the livestock feed. Non-edible oil cakes which are not fit to feeding livestock are castrol cake, neem cake, mahua cake, etc. Both edible and non-edible oil cakes can be used as manure. However, edible oil cake are fit to cattle, and non-edible oil cake are used as a manure, especially for the horticultural crops. Nutrients present in oil cake after mineralization are made available to crop 7 to 10 days after application. Now, this is all about the manures or organic fertilizer. Now, what is the fertilizer? Fertilizer is a type of soil conditioner. They are compounds given to plant with the intention of promoting growth. They are usually applied either by a soil for uptake by plant root or by foliar feeding for uptake through leaves. Fertilizer typically provide a varying promotions. The three major plant nutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. The secondary plant nutrient, for example, calcium, sulfur, and magnesium, and some other trace element used as a nutrient are called micronutrient with a role in plant nutrition are boron, manganese, iron, zinc, copper, and molybdenum. Soil conditioner are also soil amendments or material added to soil to improve plant growth and health. So soil conditioners are also very close to fertilizer. The type of conditioner added depend on the current soil composition, climate, and type of plant. Some soil lack nutrient necessary for the proper plant growth, and others hold too little water. A conditioner or a combination of conditioner correct the soil deficiencies. Fertilizer aid depleted plant nutrition. Materials such as compost, clay, vermiculites, hydrogel, shredded bark will make soil hold more water. Lime is used to make soil less acidic. Gypsum releases nutrient and improves soil structure. Sometimes a soil inoculant is added for the legume. Now, what is the type of fertilizer? There is two major class of fertilizers. One class is called organic fertilizer, and the second one is called inorganic fertilizer. Organic fertilizer include carbon hydrogen based fertilizers, while inorganic fertilizer include mineral not carbon based fertilizers. Now see about the organic fertilizer. This is also of two types: naturally occurring organic fertilizer, for example manure, urine, feces, worm castings, peat, seaweed and guano. The non-manufactured organic fertilizer, यानी कि naturally occurring organic fertilizer and manufactured or man-made organic fertilizers. For example, compost, dried bloods, bone materials, seaweed, etc. Seaweed type from urine, composited feces. So these are the two types of organic fertilizer: naturally occurring or manufactured or man-made organic fertilizers. While in inorganic fertilizers, it is not carbon based. It is also two types: naturally occurring inorganic fertilizer and man-made or manufactured chemically synthesized inorganic fertilizers. Naturally occurred organic fertilizers are sodium nitrate minerals, rock phosphate minerals, limestone minerals. These are the naturally occurring inorganic fertilizers. While ammonium nitrate, potassium sulfate, superphosphate, triple phosphate, these are the manufactured or chemically synthesized inorganic fertilizers. Organic fertilizers and inorganic fertilizers. The fertilizer type that is chemically synthesized, example is chemical fertilizer or artificial fertilizer. For example is superphosphate. That is what is the appearance of superphosphate is shown in this photograph. For main requirement for the plant growth: light, nutrient, a structure for root to grow, and water. Nutrient can be directly influenced with the product, while water can be influenced indirectly with soil conditioner, can improve water holding capacity, more crop per drop. Integrated pest management, pest and pesticide, pest, the Food and Agriculture Organization led inter-country program IPC for IPM, integrated pest management, farmers, field schools in Asia, national IPM programs in Indonesia in 1989 to 2000, and national project of smaller scale in Bangladesh, Cambodia, China and Nepal. The IPM with FFS approach never got operational. In India, most of IPM activities are funded from the government budget. In Nepal, deposits initial certitude between 1997 and 2001, some 8,600 farmers participated in the IPM through FFS. Pest. Any species that competes with use for food, invades lawn, gardens, destroy wood in-house, spread diseases, or are simply a nuisance. In natural ecosystem, 50 to 90% of these species are controlled by predators, parasites, and disease natural enemies. Monoculture need to be promoted, however, what are pesticides? Also called biocides, chemical to kill organism are to be considered undesirable. So these are the small animals which are very harmful are called pest, and the chemicals which kill them is called pesticide. Type of pesticide: insecticide, insect; herbicide kills weeds; fungicide kill fungus or nematocides, nematodes; and rodenticide, rat and mice. So plant have always produced natural chemical to ward off poison pest. Herbivores develop resistance through natural selection, and then plants develop new defenses. This is coagulations. First generation pesticides. Before 500 BC, sulfur was used as an insecticide. Arsenic, lead, mercury by 1400 were used as insecticide on crop. Poisoning of humans. हेलो हाँ
कह रहे वो वैल्यूएशन के लिए कोई अनिल अनिल है वो कह रहे मैं जवाहर नगर से कर रहा हूँ मैं आ रहा हूँ मुझे आपकी वो प्रॉपर्टी दिखाओ
आप दिखा देना और जो अंदर की चाबी तो हमारे पास है नहीं ठीक है ओके अगर वो उस बुक के चाबी से देखना है तो अनिल जी को फोन कर लेना मैं अभी लेक्चर में हूँ तो मुझे डिस्टर्ब मत करना प्लीज
जैन को ही तो अभय जैन को
हाँ अभय जैन Poisoning of humans in 1920s led to seizing of these metals. Traces can still be found in the soil. In 1960s, nicotine sulfate from tobacco used as an insecticide. Two other natural pesticides, pyrotherm from chrysanthemum and rotenone from the tropical forest legumes were used. These are called first generation pesticide and were mainly natural substances. Second generation pesticide in 1939, Permuller DDT first second generation pesticide was discovered. Since 1945, hundreds of the synthetic organic chemicals have been developed. 2.3 million metric tons per year used worldwide of pesticide, about 75% in the developing country. Why use pesticide? It is natural question, but here we need to know the reason. Save human life, DDT, etc. have prevented death of 7 million people from insect transmitted disease such as malaria. Increase food supplies and lower food cost. About 55% of the world potential human food supplies are lost to pest either before or after harvest. No use would cause increase in food prices. Increase profit for farmers. Work faster than alternative. They control most pests, have a long shelf life, are easily shipped and applied, are safe when handled properly. When properly used, health risks are insignificant compared with benefit. Newer pesticides are safer and more effective than many older ones. Many new ones can be used at very low rates per unit area as compared to older products. The idea pesticide would so far no pesticide meet all of these criteria. Kill only the target pest, harm no other species, disappear or break down in harmless substances after being used, not be persistent, not cause genetic resistance in target organism, be more cost effective than doing nothing. So the ideal pesticide should contain the following properties. Why not use pesticides? Surely there are some importance, but importance is assigned with some demerits. So the pesticide should not be used because genetic resistance, insect breed rapidly and in 5 to 10 years they can develop immunity. Directional natural selection, then come back stronger than before. Broad spectrum pesticide kill natural predators and parasites that may have been keeping the population in the check. This can unleash new pests which the predators kept in check. Narrow spectrum pesticide kill only the target species. This is not the sufficient, but there is a few other reasons. Because of these reasons, the pesticide should ban or should not use. Children exposed pesticide. A cause of concern is multiple chemicals, multiple sources of exposure, multiple routes of exposure, multiple effects. So, pesticides are considered an important environmental threat to children's health in rural areas. This is because a large variety of the chemical and mixtures are used as pesticide. Many pesticides are used at the same time in the same place in agriculture region. They are ubiquitous in the environment and in the individual environment, micro environment of the children. There may be several sources of exposure to the same or a different chemical. Multiple exposure may occur from the period throughout the children's growth into the adolescent and adulthood. The pesticide may also be heavily used indoor in the urban area, so this is not solely a rural issue. So this is a photograph which indicating how the children are exposed in the pesticide atmosphere. which is highly dangerous to their health. Source and the settings of expose: home, school, daycare and institutions, indoor and outdoor applications, mosquito control, professional and domestic applications, health uses, lice or scabies, fins or ticks on pets, pesticide residue, dust, soil, furniture, carpet, toy, food, playground, playing field, lawns, gardens, wood preservatives in play structures. These are the pesticide residues. So this is the photograph of child, which indicating how the child are exposed in the pesticide or pesticide residue atmosphere, which is very dangerous to their health and hygiene, health and life. Okay. The cause of concern: not to use pesticide in hospital, use of DDT, which should be minimized because the DDT is very dangerous to the health and life of the patient. This is indicated by this photograph where a man is spraying the DDT in the hospital to sterilize the hospital, while there is a few patients who are exposed in the atmosphere of DDT. The second photograph is exposed. The second photograph is indicating the many food products have detectable level of the pesticide on their outside. So this is very dangerous for the health and the life of the people. The cause of concern not to use the pesticides are water, pesticides in the drinking water, tap water, well water, and the similarly pesticides are deposits on the crop, routinely sprayed, and fruit, vegetables, grains, and bioaccumulation also find in animals and product, fish, meat, egg, and dairy products. So these are the highly concerned areas of pesticide depositions. The next one is cause of concern not to use pesticide because mother intake and baby mother intake and body burdens is transferred across the placenta. Breast milk may be contaminated due to the pesticide. So this is a very area of concern which should be avoided, which must be avoided. The another acute poisoning. This is the another area of concern of uses of pesticide. The storage of the leftover pesticide in a medicine or soft drink bottles, confusion with pharmaceuticals, pesticide containers, reuse of the storing drinks of food, bottle containing pharmaceutical and the pesticide, for example, chlorpyrifos, Levorday. These are the chemical and pharmaceuticals which are used in the bottles, and when these bottles are used, they contaminate the water and food materials. The acute pesticide related illness, dermal and the ocular irritation or allergic response, upper and lower respiratory tract irritation, allergic response, asthma, and gastrointestinal symptoms, neurological symptoms, specific symptoms. These are the two photographs which indicating the acute pesticide related illness. Currently, 100 of the 300 most destructive pests in the United States were secondary pests that become major pests after widespread use of the insecticide. Now, what is the pest trade mills? Pesticide trade mills. Genetic resistance develop, therefore, more frequent application of the pesticide. Large dose of the pesticide are applied, switch to new chemicals to keep the resistant species under control. Pay more and more for a pest control program that is less and less effective. What is the genetic treadmill? Some think that increasing dependence on genetically after crop may cause a genetic treadmill similar to the pesticide treadmill. Pesticide do not stay put. The aerial spraying on crop or ground spraying often does not reach the target species. Pesticide end up in the air, surface and groundwater, bottom sediments, food and non-target organism. What could be done? Use around sprayers that suck up and recover pesticide, covering booms to keep pesticide from drifting. Lay ropeback like wicks on ground to deliver pesticide directly to the weed. Some crops are genetically altered to release a small amount of pesticide directly to pieces. How to pesticide harm wildlife? DDT biomagnified made eggshell so fragile that fish eating would almost become extinct. Also, pesticide wipe out honeybee hives, kill other birds, kill fish when they get into the water, harm many of the endangered and threatened species in the US. Are they a threat to human health? Yes. Chlorinated hydrocarbons, very persistent pesticide, have been banned in US. Organophosphates, much less persistent but are highly toxic to human and animals. Main part of the population affected in the developed and developing country are farm workers. See text P5 for or other examples. Pesticide may cause genetic mutations, birth defect, nervous system disorders, especially behavior disorders, effect on immune and endocrine systems disorders. So these are the very important area where the pesticide highly damage. Pesticide regulations. FIFRA, Federal Insecticide, Fungicide, Rodenticide Act 1947, all commercial pesticide must be approved by the EPA for general or restricted use. Pesticide companies must evaluate for toxicity to animal. EPA review this data before approving the pesticide, set it together label specifying the amount of toxic pesticide residue that can remain on the crop when the consumers eat it. Circle of poison. US can make and sell pesticide are banned in our country to other countries, mainly developing country. Residue of these banned pesticide come back into our country on fruit and vegetable, also on the wind. Primary goal of pest control: to reduce crop damage to an economically tolerable level. Economic threshold: the point where the economic losses caused by pest damage outweigh the cost of applying a pesticide. Hard to determine when economic threshold has been reached. Mainly farmers do cosmetic spraying, appliances and insurance spraying to be on the safe side. Other way to control the pest: there are lot of way. through which we can control the pest without harming environment or surroundings. These are cultivation practices, crop rotation. These are environment friendly technique, so they are called green technique. By using the green technique, pest can be controlled. So this one of the important green technique for pest control is cultivation practices, crop rotation, planting hedged or tree around field to hinder insect invasion and provide habitat for predators. Adjust planting times so pests either starve or are eaten by predators. Grow crops in area where pests do not exist. Switch from monoculture to polyculture. Use plastic to keep weeds from spouting. Use vacuum machines to remove pests. So these are the different uh, cultivation practices by which the pest can be controlled. Genetic engineering, by using the advanced technique, that is a genetic engineering, the pest can be controlled. Goal to develop pest and disease resistant crop strains. There is much controversy over the whether the increasing use of genetically modified plants and food outweigh their projected disadvantages. Using natural enemies, biological pest control, use predators, parasites and pathogens to control pest, parasite, rape, etc. Focuses on target species, non-toxic to other species, self-perpetuating, minimizing genetic resistance, that can take year of research, cannot be always mass produced, can be slower acting, must be protected from the spray pesticide. The next one technique which is environment friendly to control the pest is biopesticides. Synthetic pyrethroid, Bt bacillus thuringiensis toxins, a registered pesticide which is soil bacterium used by organic farmers as a non-chemical pesticide. Some plants are developing genetic resistance to Bt toxins. Bt toxins have been put in genetically altered crops such as corn, potatoes and soybeans. Birth control. Male insects have been raised in the lab, sterilized by radiation or chemicals, released to mate with fertile wild female. Male are sterilized rather than females because females mate only once while males mate several times. Has been used to eliminate screwborn fly and the expensive must know mating times need many males need to release males continually. Pheromones and the juvenile hormones. So these are the chemicals which are used to use as a green pesticide to control the pest. Pheromones, sexual attractant that lure pests into trap or attract their natural predators. Attract only one species, work in a small amount, don't cause genetic resistance, are not harmful to non-target species. Juvenile and molting hormones disrupt the insect normal life cycle. Hot water and ionizing radiation, spraying boiling water can kill weeds and insect, work well on cotton, alfalfa, potatoes and citrus groves. Irradiation of food can kill insect practices, parasitics, larvae and bacteria. integrated pest management IPM. Educate the farmers to evaluate each crop and develop control program. Use cultivation methods, biological methods, and chemical methods. Can work what it is expensive and slower acting than just using pesticide. Information and the communication technology, ICT. ICT has important role to promote green technology. The Information and Technology Act 2004 support ICT. ICT intervention for the agriculture development and environmental management. 9th plan commit to use of ICT for the providing access to market and the trading information. Now the next one is biogas. Biogas is a product of aerobic digestion of the organic matters by methanogenic bacteria. Biogas can serve to meet energy requirement for the cooking, light, refrigeration, electricity generation, internal combustion in engines. Biogas support programs phase 1 to 4 has been instrumental in the promotion of biogas. Successful biogas sectors is the result of consolidated efforts of public and the private stakeholders and donor agencies. So this is the diagram which indicating the mechanism of the biogas. This is the dome type biogas plant indicating how the biogas is manufactured in this plant. So as you are seeing, the slurry of the cattle dung and water mixture tank hai, then it is higher the level of the ground or inlet chamber hai, then dung and water mixture reach into the biogas chamber, and then from the biogas chamber there is outlet for the biogas. This is the gas valve, and then the outlet chamber is spent slurries, and this is the overflow tank for slurry, and the biogas tank is underground digester tank. So this whole diagram is indicating how the biogas is produced in the biogas plant. Sustainability and biogas. This is the different animal husbandry, biogas, household, environment. So these are the outline how to produce biogas. Biogas and the poverty reduction. Biogas create impact on the poverty through reducing health and sanitation problems, time saving, and the increase in the income levels. 90% Nepalese household with biogas plant had proper toilets as compared to 60% of the non-biogas households. The poverty reduction impact of biogas. The poverty reduction indicator PRI, security, income, employment, knowledge and the information, health, drudgery reduction, empowerment, gender equality, environmental sustainability. So these are the different sector where it help to increase the income of the rural population. Biogas and rural environment. Biogas is environment friendly technique to produce the powers which use in different sectors. Biogas and income generation to farmers. Biogas increases income through increased agricultural productivity as a substitute for the fuel, wood and commercial fuel, reduce health cost. Summary of the cost and benefit. Cost, installation cost, maintenance cost, transaction cost for searching, time saving for women, reducing expenditure for kerosene and other fuels, conserve forest manures for farming, less use of fertilizer, reduce respiratory disease, income from CO2 fund. Agroforestry, this is a very important field. Is a growing tree on farm is common practice. Silvo-animal, farm, forestry and slop agriculture, land technology, and agro-silviculture, shifting cultivation and are the best practice systems of the agroforestry. Agroforestry is the integral part of the agriculture. Agroforestry is also assigned or interconnected or linked industry to the agriculture. So agroforestry and its sustainability, interlinks of agroforest, agriculture and household and livestock. See, the off-farm income activities, livestock, forest, agroforest and household, biogas and farmland crops. So these are interconnected to each other and help to extend the assigned field in the benefit. Agroforestry and the environment friendly agriculture. Agroforestry help to improve the soil fertility. Agroforestry, livestock, biogas, environment and environment friendly agriculture. Agroforestry, income generation to farmers and poverty reduction. Increased food production through improved soil quality, diversified sources, selling tree by product such as fruit, wood and other forest product, extracting from agroforest, diversify sources, selling livestock products such as milk, meat, etc. Agroforestry, income generation to farmers and power reduction. So it's a very important tool, minimizing the poverty of the farmers. Net benefit from the forestry along agriculture alone and the agroforestry. Agroforestry and rural environment. Agroforestry has very high potential for carbon sequestrations. Agroforest can control the erosion problem. Agroforestry increases biodiversity and may be useful beside other benefits to reduce pest attack in the crop. Tall tree may act as wind blocks to shelter harvestable crop, reduce wind erosion and delay the attack of desertifying sands. Agroforestry and gender issues. Rural women have very high workload due to the responsibility in the both farm and household. Women spend more than 3/4 of household time collecting forest product. Adoption of the agroforestry will reduce time required for all these activities and increase welfare of women. Summary of cost and benefit. India biofuel Jayatroppa. India energy demands is expected to grow at an annual rate of 4.8% over the next couple of decades. The continuous fluctuation in oil price and non-renewable character of fossil fuel is a problem. Biofuel could be the possible solutions as it reduce the problem of global warming, create new market and product for farmer, is renewable in nature, reduce fear of energy crisis, gives a local alternate to monopolize fossil fuel market. India biofuel Jatropha. Some problems of biofuel are high quantity of feedstock is required for producing less fuel. Biofuel fuel stock may reduce production of food grain. Poor people may suffer being exhausted from the benefit and subjected to higher food prices. Experts have suggested use of marginal land for feedstock production. Jatropha can be grown in marginal land. Jatropha can grow even in saline, marginal and infertile soil. Require little maintenance that in turn reduce cost of production. Productivity is also high. Repel other animal and insect. Geotropha and environmental friendly agriculture. Reduce use of fertilizers and pesticide. Reduce emission of greenhouse gases. Maintain the soil fertility. Reduce oil erosion. Jatropha and the poverty reduction. In India, out of 142.81 million hectares of net sown area, only 5.05 million hectares area is irrigated. 19 million hectare area is barren and uncultivable. 13 million hectare area is cultivable wasteland. Land availability for Jatropha production is high in India. If 13 million hectare area of wasteland is used for Jatropha production and one man is employed per hectare, then 13 million new jobs will be created. Biofuel sector require approximately 50% less investment than petroleum sector to create one additional employment. Jatropha and rural environment does not require pesticide, insecticide, fertilizer and irrigation. No adverse impact on soil, land and water. No negative impact on forest and biodiversity. Improve the soil quality of the saline and wasteland and stop desertification. That is very important. It has the only merits for the environment. It is a highly meritorious, friendly to the environment. Jatropha and income generation to farmers. A farmer can produce up to 3.25 tons per hectare Jatropha seed per year. With current market prices, a farmer can make 1,1875. This amount is less than income from sugarcane. What it is profitable because production cost is negligible. Can be produced in marginal land whose opportunity cost is almost zero. Jatropha and the gender issues. Jatropha require less intensive labor. Women can carry out most of the agriculture work. Government policies on Jatropha. India need to grow Jatropha to tackle dry land and generate biodiesel. India has announced National Biodiesel Mission. Government has decided to use Jatropha seed as a feedstock for biodiesel. Phase 1, cultivate 4 lakh hectares with Jatropha. Establish seed collection and oil extraction centers, sustaining expansion of the program leading to the production of biodiesel to meet 20% of country's diesel requirement by 2011-12. Direct production cost and benefit of income of farmer, opportunity cost of land, improve social well-being, reduce income of petro produce sellers, improve environmental qualities. So these are the benefit and cost. Evaluation of technology for the adoption, system independence, image of modernity, system independence, less capital is required, image of modernity, relative new concept, so people will not hesitate to adopt the ground of social prestige, individual versus collective, collective for economies of the sale people will have to grow collectively. Only labor is the significant input. Risk factors little will be at stake. It is shown in marginal land. Evolutionary capacity, fuel storage in India will expand the Jatropha production. Single versus multiple purpose. There are many use of Jatropha. Jatropha is not only a cash crop but also technology to use environment and fill the gap of energy supply. Biomass. Major concern in the world is to reduce overdependence on exhaustible sources of energy. Major contributor of biomass is palm oil industry. Production of biomass is possible throughout the year because of high sunlight and high rainfall. Government support use of biomass for energy generation. So these are the example of biomass. This is the wastage of sugarcane. This is the wastage of crop. These are the wastage of crop byproduct, and this is the wastage of crop. So these are the different items which are called collectively biomass. Impact of green technology on promoting green practices. Green technology initiative has been launched in London. 77% US voters believe America has not done enough to facilitate green practices. China has been aggressively involved in the development of the environmentally friendly farming practices. On sustainable agriculture, rural income and the poverty reduction. Non-sustainable land use practices contribute to low agriculture productivity and poverty. Agriculture technology offer opportunities for raising food grain production. Impact of climate changes on agriculture need to be given due to consideration by facilitating green technology. On contributing to income generation through ecological agriculture and rural renewable energy. Energy improve productivity, creates employment and increase income. Choosing the appropriate alternative energy technologies is very important. Renewable energy technology has been the best substitute for the improving the quality of life of rural household. Crop planted using conservation tillage practices have helped retain carbon in the soil. Shift from traditional environmental policy toward ecological modernization through green technology is necessary. Neither separate nor umbrella policy has been promulgated. Last practice plan contain disaggregated objective toward green technology. Agriculture policy conserve, promote and utilize agriculture biodiversities through the development and dissemination of the environmental friendly technology. The national policies for green technology, its impact, implementation and challenges. National agriculture policies 2005 promote organic farming. Rural energy policies 2006 cover small and micro hydro project, biogas, biofuel, biomass, gasification, solar energy, wind energy, improve cook, stove, rural electrification, etc. Subsidy policies for renewable rural energy 2006 allowed subsidies for systems that are delivered through pre-qualified companies. Technology transfer is highly dependent on provision of subsidy. National policy for green technology, the new and renewable energy plan, Electricity Act, Renewable Energy Act. Through these provisions, India aims to meet 20% of country total requirement of energy from renewable sources by 2020. Also interesting, are policies on biofuel, biodiesel, National Biodiesel Mission and Biotransgenic Plant Variety Protection Act. Water resources management, efficiency of water use, government initiatives, system of rice intensification, increase rice productivity, increase water use efficiency, save 20% water requirement, adoption of Dropok nursery, 1/8 of the nursery area, alternate wetting and drying, transplanting 14 days old seedlings, minimize input and labor requirement, save cost of cultivation 20 to 30%. 2013 to 2014 programs 12 lakh per hectare. One village concept in 2000 village 1.90 lakh hectares, 28,831 demonstrations under NADP and 15 lakh crore. So these are the how to minimize the uses of how to minimize the wastage of water and how to maximize the uses of water. This is a different trend using minimizing the uses of water. Water resources management, government initiative, sustainable sugarcane initiative, augment and productivity, reduce input requirement, planting materials, increase fertilizer use efficiency, precision farming, mechanize harvesting possibility. So these are the government initiative and these are the technique in which manage the water resources and minimizing the water expenses. These photograph indicating how to maximize the use of water, how to minimize the wastage of water during the different type of using in different type of crops. So this is water resources management, red grain transplantation. Nursery for 1 month saves irrigation water. Program 50,000 acre in 10,000 acre, 55,000 crores, distribution of rain guns, mobile sprinklers, and use of pulse wonder to boost the yield. Demonstrations in the 12,500 acres initiative for the 37,500 acres, besides training and the farmers. Challenges and the opportunities. Complex task is to strike a balance between environmental and the business concern. APCAM countries need to immediately prepare themselves for need-specific alternative technologies. It would be extremely difficult to sustain the current per capita rate of energy consumption without using renewable sources. It will be difficult for the developing country to make financial as well as political commitment. Renewable and the environmental friendly energy resources are necessary for the replacing fossil fuel. Illiteracy of the farmers. Land acquisition and infrastructure problem associated with biofuel, solar and hydropower plant. Energy prices agenda and need to be revised to encourage the implementation of the climate change convention under the current price of oil, development of innovative, appropriate and efficient information and communication system, global consensus in the adapting climate change as a constraint to development. Now we come on the conclusion of the today lecture. When used correctly, agro-environment friendly technology has promoted sustainable agriculture growth and reduced widening rural-urban income disparities. Green technology in the renew country has mostly minimized environmental hazards and made farmers more productive through their enhanced efficiency. Sustainable agriculture is the resource conserving, environmentally non-degrading, technically appropriate and economically and socially acceptable. If the policies on the food security and income generation fail to address poverty and malnutrition, application of the green technology will remain incomplete. Understanding of the information technologies and their interlinkage with the agriculture sector is vital for evaluating the strength of pro-poor and environmental friendly agriculture technology. Interlink of technology with social should be deliberated in advance to assess their role in achieving expected outcomes. Recommendation: the simultaneous improvement in the agriculture productivity, employment creation and the promotion of the renewable energy is the only answer. Design effective communication package to create awareness, community level application of GT, green technologies such as wind and solar energy, supportive public-private investment policy for the development of green technology is recommended. Regarding biofuel, government should balance between food crop and fuel crop using the policy instrument. Government should provide technical assistance to create human resource for supporting technology transfer, removal of subsidy on practices, decoupling staple food production from pesticide, strong coordination between national and international agencies, and diversion of fund formerly spent on the chemical used to human resources development are some suggested immediate interventions. Government should initiate programs which will take ICT to the poor people. Carefully assess the possibility of the multifunctionality of the technology. Strength of participatory programs as farmer field school should be renewed for duplication. Close scrutiny of the existing policies and commitment to the harmonize contradictory policies is necessary to ensure that green technology policies and the programs are not developed, implemented or evaluated in isolation. So with this is all about in today lecture. The topic was green technology as a tool, green technology as a tool for the sustainable agriculture field, sustainable agriculture development. So this is all about the topic, and thank you very much to all participants who listen or join the today's evening session. So I wish you